Car's okay. All things considered. Lead. Thanking God for the fire department right now. she drives. We're back. Wasn't working. I think somewhere I've got a transmission fluid leak. It's pretty low because that one tire, and when it's low on gas because I don't want to fill it up all the way because the tank's about to come out, and when you get it up at an angle, it starts to cut out and die because it can't pick up the fuel. So got it here now, and journey begins. And then somewhere between here and there, I'm going to decide if I'm going to work on it up here on the back of the trailer, or if I'm going to take it off the trailer and work on it on the ground. I really like the height it's at right now. Like, I feel like I can cut and weld and everything at a pretty good elevation. So I'm pretty tempted to leave it like this. We'll see. So I just had to scoot it back a little bit because the tire was getting in the way of the wheel well, or vice versa. So now I can actually get to the tire. I don't think I've had any moments where I'm just talking in this video yet, but ECTO is now in the place where I'm going to start doing a lot of metal work. In my plan, for those that are interested, wheels are coming off and gas tank is coming off just like before. But it's going to stay on this trailer, and I'll tell you why. Look at that work height right there. Look at that workstation. So I can actually work up high, kind of standing up, instead of crouching down all day, and it's going to be way better. I should have done this long ago. So gas tank's going to come out and tires are going to come off today, and then I'm working on strapping this thing down really securely, because there's two big things outside of the work on the car I'm worried about. Got a little smudge on you. Two things, wind and fire. I'm going to strap the car down. It's going to be sitting on jack stands on the frame and the rear end, and it's going to be strapped down front and back. And then on Wednesday, in a few days, I've gone on Amazon and I ordered some anchors that drill down to the ground 30 inches deep. It's going to be 3 on each side, and it's going to strap the trailer down. So with the car attached to the trailer strongly and the trailer attached to the ground strongly, we should be pretty good. So yeah, I'm going to get to getting that stuff taken out again, and in the morning we'll get to cutting. Well, looks like I need to get a new grinder again. You hear that? So I hate these. So I had this one that I bought, what, 3 years ago, and it worked great for all that time. And then it started, I think the chuck was just a little hard to work with, but the motor still was great. So I bought a second one, and that second one lasted 15 minutes. And then it started doing this. And I don't know which one this is. I don't know if this is one I bought after the fire or not. I think I'm done with Harbor Freight grinders, because this is chicken shit. I can't get through any cuts. I don't know how many of these I'd have to use to build the whole car, so I guess I'm just gonna have to go buy a new one. Man, my luck with Harbor Freight is not looking too hot today. Just pulled that welder out and ran the power and ran the wire feed through to the tip, and before I could even hook a ground up, it made a popping noise and shut off. And that, I don't know what to do about that. So I'm gonna see what I can do about getting a new one. But that's it for today. Got this lined up, ready to go, so I can just pop some tacks in there and then verify the fitment and everything. And then I'll start working on the structure in here. Basically, I haven't said anything, but this line right here, oh no, sorry. I think it's this one. This line is gonna be pretty much run up here, and I might cut even more off just to get it as close out as I can. And then it's gonna have a plate coming over here. I might box it to this, I don't know yet. I've got this square 1-inch that I might try to find a way to use in there. Just don't know how yet. I'll figure it out tomorrow. So here is the basic layout. Take my gloves off. Check this out. So I've seen people do this a couple different ways. ECTO Texas sent me a lot of info on how they did theirs. Dan, Evil Mechanic on YouTube, he's got a video he's about to come out with on the same project. He sent me one video, and I got a really good idea off of that video that he sent me, where he actually used this support piece. When he cut his quarter panel off, he cut it like this, bent it over, and then used it as like a way to box this piece in. And I don't remember exactly if he did this the same way as me, but I just ended up having this exactly perfect piece of thick steel. I don't know what gauge that is, but I mean, it's almost an 1/8 inch. It's thickums. It's thicker than the factory support stuff inside. And that is going to do a really, really good job because it's one solid piece and it's going to be box welded all the way down here. And I'm going to cut this extra piece off and it's going to be welded all the way up here. And then this is going to be welded, and I'll probably put a little triangle in there and a triangle in there, and make this all really nice and clean. Oh man. And these are going to slide in here like that. Come on, bastard. There you go. It's going to slide in like that, and it's going to bolt to this surface. I'll probably drill another bolt in at the top right there, but it's got a screw hole right there. I might bore that out too. And in order to make it removable, I'll probably need to cut a little bit more out of that. I'll file this down a little bit, just give a little more space. But this is gonna have holes in it, and there's gonna be cutouts like this one right here, on down there and up here, and that's gonna be where the pocket goes for all like the lock nuts and everything. So everything's gonna be mounted from the back, and just gonna have actually, I take it back. I think I'm just gonna have a bolt coming in through here, and then lock nuts and lock hardware and everything on this side, so you can access it from the outside right here. So then you don't need to do as much work in here. And one more thing, this is kind of like the only major talking period I'm doing for this build, or for this part of the build. I wanted to explain what I'm doing here. So ECTO Texas, they did this on their real 59, and so with that being said, they had to work around a lot more stuff. They took it to a guy that took the door off and everything. Basically what I'm saying, they didn't have the quarter panel off. Having this quarter panel off makes this extremely easy in comparison. So I knocked out the latch and the lock hardware and everything. I still need to do it on this side. This screw was fighting me earlier. I got this one off. But being that I've left it all put together like this, I'm able to make sure that I can get this jam as tight as I want it. I can get this laid out exactly the right way. And I'd been racking my brain thinking, well, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna take this door off and then just He-Man this 300, 400 pound door up back on here? No, I'm way not strong enough for that. I'm going to leave the pocket like this, and once I cut, there's a little pocket that gets cut into the door as well, and it slightly interferes with how much the door can roll down, or the window can roll down, so that'll be fun to deal with. But once I cut this pocket, I'll be able to cut the pocket and do all the modifications with the door hung like this. And when the time finally comes, I can install the door in here, and it can sit like, I think it'll be able to sit like this, snug up in there, and then I can just put the door, I can slide it in like this. I might need to take the spring out of that one just to make sure I can actually get it in, but I can run it in like that, bolt it up to the door. Oh, balls. No, I can't. Because then I won't be able to take these ones off. Fart. I'll think of something. Okay, I went into town, replaced the welder. We'll see if it works this time. I might use a different plug, but still use that big thick 10 gauge extension cord that I bought. I don't think that caused the problem, but I mean, I don't know. I can't really afford to drive into town every single day. So these are going to go on the side right here. And this one, I'll be able to just bend right there, and on the other side, it needs to bend back so it can sit on this crease. It's got a crease just like that. So I'll bend it back that exact amount on one side and make that crease. Then I'll do the same thing over here once I've got that measurement. The other one is not going to be as easy because the other door is longer. So it just barely, it's not even long enough as it is. So I'm going to need to extend it by about 3 inches and then do that same process on that one. So the quarter panel is really close to going on. Off camera, I fully welded this lower piece in. Originally I didn't know when I was going to do it, at what stage, but now I've learned a lot about doing this process from the first time. I learned a lot from my mistakes, and I can tell you guys a few things. You should tack everything in place and then lay it on before you start welding stuff. And there's a certain order to this. If you've got a 59 quarter panel and a 62 hearse, you're going to need to keep the inner quarter from the 59. That little piece that goes like that. That needs to come from the other car, because this piece, I don't know if Daniel makes it, the guy that made all these quarter panels. I don't know if he makes this, but he makes this. I don't believe he makes this, and I don't think he makes the inner quarter. So you might as well keep that off of the 59 that you're cutting. One other thing, so that needs to go on first. And I learned a lot from originally when I was doing this the first time. I had my head up in here welding the inside, and it was such a pain in the ass. I was burning my scalp. It was really bad. So took a step back this time, and I welded from the outside. I just got all the measurements right, and thankfully I got that in the exact right place to where it wants to mate to this. So there's a really nice connection right there that's gonna weld really well. I just don't know where I'm gonna weld yet. I guess I'll weld from the inside, from this surface. So I guess I'll have to burn myself a little bit, but you know, a lot better than before. What else did I do today? Gosh, I cut this section all the way out. I'm leaving this just because I don't know how much of this I want to remove. This is the aluminum extrusion window track, and I want to keep as much as possible just so it's not fully unsupported when it goes down. So the more I leave, the better. We'll see how much I need later, but the quarter can't go on just yet. So there's other things I'm gonna do in the meantime. The reason this can't go on yet, and I honestly might wait until the very end for this, is because this door is very determined on the building this little cavity in here for this door hinge. The best way, in my opinion, to do it is to build that cavity with this quarter panel off, so I can access all up in here, and I can put the door hinge in like this, take it out like this, because with the door attached, I really don't want to detach the door, really. The main thing is I'm not strong enough to heave it up here. This is really heavy, and all the weight is up here. And yes, I could take that out, don't want to. So, smarter thing to do. I've got to go get some 1/4 inch thick steel to build a little cavity in here. Oh, I guess I do need to trim that. Bummer! But I'll make a little cavity right here, and then I'll be able to bolt the door on. And then once that cavity is built, then I can go ahead and build the hinge. But yeah, really, really nice progress. And it's going on a lot smarter and a lot easier than the first time. Okay guys, it's the beginning of the next week. I went ahead and I drilled all the holes out a little bit more, and I got them perfectly matched to this. I needed to bore them out a little bit in order to use the M8 screws that these are threaded for. There are 2 threaded ones that I'm going to use. I used as like initial placement here and here, and those get screwed from the back. Everything else gets screwed from the front. Now that I've got that, I went and picked up this 1/4 inch thick sheet, just of scrap from a local supplier. Pretty good deal, and I'm going to use that in here. It's 4.5 inches wide, so I'm gonna have to trim it down a bit, but I've already got the holes marked, so I'm gonna cut it, place it in there, and then start trimming. Okay, so I'm just holding it in place, but you guys can see what it's gonna look like now. Here, I'll roll it out. So that's what it's gonna look like. That's gonna be pushed over. And I'm probably going to do like a ring around the outside just to kind of clean up and cover the weld area and just kind of make it look a little more finished off. That gap up top is going to be another 1/4 inch thick piece, and then there's going to be a 1/4 inch thick piece on the bottom, and I'll get the height just right once I'm done fully welding this. But I'll go ahead and weld this all the way up on the insides. Or no, maybe that's stupid. I'll make the little boxes first, and then I'll tack them in, make sure everything works. And once I can put this in fully tacked together and bolt everything together, that side and this side, once that fits and everything goes together, then I will fully weld this, and I'll start working on the inside of this door, getting rid of some of the rust and dirt. And after that, this door will be pretty much ready. Okay, I just cut through the hinges with the Sawzall and I saw it drop. I think it might be ready. Maybe not. No, maybe not. Darn it. Okay, well my GoPro ran out of footage at just the wrong time. But as you can see, we've got it working. It kind of goes up a little bit. I don't know if maybe the angle's a little off, but it looks fine. I think the problem is I'm doing this on an uneven surface. I literally attached to a trailer. I know the car's already kind of tilting, so I think it's exaggerated. Either way, gotta finish cutting these bad boys out a little bit more, and then I need to cut here. I need to cut a little sliver from right here down, because as you can see, it hits on this surface. So this needs to come in just a little bit. So maybe I'll just do a pie-shaped notch and I'll just push it in a little bit, because I want to keep this structure if I can. So I'll try to cut a little sliver out of there, maybe a sliver out of there. We'll see how that goes. Alright, so I took a slice out of it. There's a couple things that needed to get sawzalled out. There's a little spacer in there I had to get rid of, and then I chopped a little bit, as you can tell, chopped a little bit of the aluminum structure on the inside. But now, yeah, you can see it. Once I tack it together, it'll fit. So now it'll still have all the window structure. I believe, I don't know for sure, I need to look at my pictures. I think ECTO Texas, I think when they did it, they cut a little bit of that one out. I don't remember. But either way, they might have not, but I'm not either. So I can save all that. I just got to tack and weld all the way around there. Yay! Yeah, sorry guys, I actually ran out of GoPro space on my SD card, so no more footage. I took a little bit on my phone, so that's probably what you saw at the end. But as you can see, door has been reversed and it shuts. It goes up a little bit more than I expected it to, and I can't confirm. I mean, I'm 99.999% sure that it's fine and it won't interfere with the quarter panel from all the measurements. But there's always the 0.0001 because I can't actually check right now. It interferes with this gate. So I'll move, once I'm done with the metal fab on this side, probably next video, then that's gonna move over, and when it's flipped around, I'll be able to open the door fully. We'll see how it looks. If I'm done with that by the time I upload this, then the little picture is right there. But if it's not, I just pointed at nothing. I also, off camera, I went ahead and shaved the section right here. I'll just bring it with me. Off camera, I shaved this. Wasn't that hard to do. I just kind of filled that hole with some weld, and then I cut out the square, made a square, bent it in shape. You guys kind of get it. It's not that hard of a deal. But I did also get this done. It turned out pretty good. It just took a little bit of time to make sure I didn't warp it too bad. I probably warped it a little bit, so it's probably gonna need some Bondo, but you guys know what channel this is. I also did loosely install the, sorry, I'm really tired. I loosely installed the door handle. It's not attached to anything. It just kind of helps pull it. This was pretty easy too. I took the little square over here, and then I brought it over here and I traced the circle, and then I drilled a hole. I drilled one extra right there that I need to fix. I did that by mistake. It was interfering with this surface right in there. So on the movie car, it looked like this was the same distance to here, but when I drilled that hole, it interfered. So maybe this is actually a little further in on the screen one. I'm not sure. But if it was, it wouldn't make any sense because you can't access this hole hardly at all, and you can't access that one 0%. The only other thing I did get these out. Wasn't that hard. I did have to drill the screws out, so no reusing those, and no reusing the hinges because I chopped them up into little pieces. This surface was interfering. I think I had some footage of that. But that surface was interfering, so I had to cut a little slice out of it right there. You see that? And then right here, you see all that? I just had to cut a little slice out of it. And this aluminum extrusion is a window channel, and it goes all the way down there. I had to cut a little strip out of it at the bottom and remove a piece of extension like a spacer. So it does still sit in the right place, but you need to remove a little bit of that in order to pull that outer material in. It's a lot of work, but you kind of have to do it. It's either that or you remove all of it, and I'm not doing that because I can still roll the window down. That's really good. That's a win in my book. I'll figure out at some point what I'm going to do as a button. Probably what I'd like to do would be to have a button right there with a kill switch in the car. That kill switch would mean that people just can't walk up and push it. You have to access it from the inside and turn the kill switch on, and then you can access that. But I want to have a button right there, right where this is. And that button would, little electric actuator, something like that. In the next video, I've got the quarter panel ready to go on. I've got all this primed. I need to make a patch here and here, and I've already got them drawn. I've already got them drawn on the extra piece. So I'll probably do those off camera. You're not going to see that. But I'll clean the space up a little bit, and next thing you'll see me do, it's either going to be fully welding the quarter or actually welding the quarter. It just depends on when I can get that GoPro footage stored, because I don't have my computer right here. But we'll get this tacked on and installed and then move on. I know I'm rambling, but well guys.